let's run through fantasy. I don't know how long you want to go on it, but I figure we'll do each position and then, give some overall takeaways that you got. I have so many posts. People can read them. I got the Cheese series, the OnlyFans series. I got other posts. So,
yeah.
Well, I guess we'll start with quarterback. Is there somebody that maybe you have a sleeper at quarterback? You have somebody that's overrated? I don't know. Go wherever you want with it.
And I'm not saying this just because he's on my fantasy team, but I think Derek Carr is one that you absolutely have to get.
Oh,
well, I feel like it depends on your league. If it's a league like ours where their interceptions aren't going to count, I think Derek Carr. He gets a bum rap from being with the Raiders, and I think the Raiders, there were so many games where Derek Carr put them in positions to win. He's thrown a lot of touchdowns in his career. I think Derek Carr, having a guy like Chris Olave, obviously he's not Devontae Adams, the former Green Bay Packer guy that's in the Raiders now.
Mm-hmm.
But I like Derek Carr this year. And again, not just saying that because he's on my fantasy team.
Okay. He's not very high on my list, but I'm curious. Okay.
How about I think he's going to be good.
How about
even when he was with the Raiders, he threw a lot of touchdowns.
Well, he usually ranks pretty high in deep air yard attempts.
I think he's going to he's going to so I feel like he's got a really good benefit. Chris Olave deep, and then he's got Alvin Kamara we know Alvin Kamara in the screen game is ridiculous.
Who do you think is ranked too high? Fantasy bust quarterback.
Too high. It's kind of hard because I don't really pay too much attention to fantasy rankings outside of doing the draft, but I'm just trying to think of all the quarterbacks in the league. As an Eagles fan, I really want to say Dak Prescott, but I know he's going to be good. He's always good for fantasy points.
I think I have Prescott on my cheese list.
Really? Yeah. He's always good for fantasy points, but yeah, Mike McCarthy's there. Maybe. Yeah. Hey, you know what? We'll lock it in. Dak Prescott.
Okay. How about, I guess I'll say my breakout is Lawrence. I think Lawrence is going to be a top 3 quarterback this year.
Wasn't he at least top 10 last year? I feel like he did good last year.
I think he was around top 10 last year.
Okay. I felt like he did better. Maybe I was wrong. I don't know.
I think he threw for 25 touchdowns last year. I think that number is going to be in the 30s, high 30s.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
And the one that I think is ranked way too high is Fields. I know that he rushes for a lot of yards, but I still think they suck.
Yeah.
And you're hoping and praying he rushes for over 1,000 yards again, which is hard to do.
Yeah. So, and I honestly too, I think if we're going to go that route, I guess it depends because I still think he's going to have a very good fantasy season, but also don't think Jalen Hurts is going to get as many rushing touchdowns as he did last year. Because I don't.
Well, he had a fuck ton last year.
Yeah. Well, basically, anytime they had 1 yard on the goal line, it was okay. Quarterback sneak. So I don't think that's going to happen as much this year.
I'll ask you about one more, and then we'll move on. One of my favorite sleepers actually is Pickett. We kind of talked about it already, but I think Pickett's going to be a lot better this year than he was as a rookie.
Yeah, my only thing is that, again, I just think there's going to be, for him, not quite there. I also think the Steelers traditionally like to run the ball. So yeah. That's probably the only thing's holding him back.
How running backs? You got some takes?
Let's see. I mean, I think I'll say this. Probably, yeah, I don't care. He's probably, I don't know how many, I don't really pay much attention to rankings until after we get through, our draft is already happened back in April. So I don't know what people are projecting now, but I don't know if I would be too comfortable getting Bijan Robinson.
He's on the cheese list as well.
He's on a bad team. I don't know how much time. I mean, unless he rips every yard from fucking 20 plus, every run, from 20 plus, I don't see the Falcons spending a lot of time in the goal line.
I said this, like, he's actually ranked really high. I think he's ranked as like the first, second, or third running back, depending on where you look.
Really?
Like, yeah. I would just, like, I don't know, if you're going to rank him that high, I'd just rather take one of the top receivers. Like, give me Chase over him.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he has a role in the passing game, but I'm still like, they're going to be throwing the ball a lot.
They were 31st in rushing attempts last year. Or no. 31st in passing attempts last year, the Falcons.
Meaning that they had a lot or they had a little bit?
They had a lot of rushing attempts last year. Second in the league.
I don't know. I just don't see him scoring a lot of points. I mean, he might get a lot of yardage, but I don't see a lot of touchdowns.
I just think he's ranked a little bit too high. Like, people are saying he's the next Tomlinson.
I mean, if he somehow manages to get out of Atlanta, he might be.
Yeah, sure.
Can I give you another one that's sort of a joke, sort of not a joke? Saquon Barkley.
He's on the cheese list too.
Because right now he's not playing.
Well, he's got a contract.
Well, he's got a contract, but that doesn't mean he's going to show up to camp or the season.
He's in camp.
Is he in camp? Did he report? I thought he was still sitting out.
He's in camp.
Oh, never mind. I thought he was still sitting out, but I mean, I would still say
Josh Jacobs is sitting out, and Taylor.
Okay.
And Dobbins.
As far as I don't think I have a guy that, like, I don't think I have a sleeper.
No sleeper running back.
I don't have one.
I really like Swift this year. I think Swift's going to have a big year, especially in that offense.
I don't think he was a sleeper though, or maybe he is. I don't know.
He's ranked really low. He's ranked in like the 30s.
I would have thought he'd be ranked higher, especially being behind that offensive line. And
that's what I think, but
I don't know. Maybe people think Jalen Hurts is going to get more rushing touchdowns.
I really like James Cook. I really like Stevenson. I mean, there's so many backs. I've talked about it 100 times.
Yeah.
All right, wide receivers. Do you have any?
To be honest, I really wasn't prepared for fantasy, so I don't think I have anybody. I knew we were gonna. Did you say we were gonna do fantasy? I know you said we were gonna do the.
Let's just do the long recording, and Ben will cut it up.
Yeah. Well, I remember that. But I thought we were doing the division.
Why don't we just here? I'll just look at your team. So you have Carr, Stroud, Watson, Willis as your quarterbacks. Charbonnet, Eric Gray, Derrick Henry, Tajay Spears, Isaiah Spiller, Rashad White, Javonte Williams. Any of those running backs that you want to talk about?
Well, I will say Javonte Williams, I think, gonna be good.
There's a lot of
he's coming off injury, but I think he was having a pretty good year before he got hurt last year.
He was.
There's
a lot of people ranking Samaje Perine higher.
Fuck that guy. I don't like him.
I've
never liked Samaje Perine.
Me neither. I also very much disagree with anybody that's saying that, aka Matthew Berry.
All right.
I think your guy Rashad White might have an okay year.
I hope so.
I'm semi high on him.
I've lost fantasy multiple years in a row now because my running backs have just not been good.
Fact. That's a fact.
Like even when I was only playing with one quarterback, it was mostly I was losing because I'd get like 1 point from out of like 3 running backs, I'd get 1 point combined. And it'd be like, fuck this.
Your running backs are good now.
Yeah, hopefully.
Wide receiver wise, you have Hopkins, Drake London, Chris Olave, Jaden Reed, Hunter Renfro, Rashee Rice.
Well, I already told you with Derek Carr, I think Chris Olave is going to have a good year. I think
Olave is going to have a good year regardless.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying I think he's going to be good. Like I was saying, I've already said I think Carr and Olave together is going to be good. I know like we kind of like shit on it earlier, but I maybe this is just optimism because he's on my team, but I feel like there's a chance DeAndre Hopkins does well.
He's on the list. He's on the OnlyFans list.
I was going to say specifically because like when you think about when AJ Brown was there, he was their only wide receiver. He had 1,000 yards and a ton of touchdowns. Like that's the same role that DeAndre Hopkins is in. The only difference is him being a lot older than, AJ Brown.
I agree. I think I'm not saying he'll be like a top 5 receiver, but I think he'll have a better season than he's being ranked in like 30 low 20s. I think that's too low.
Tight ends, Dallas Goedert will always be my guy. So I think he's the only tight end that I have right now, right?
You have a lot of tight ends.
Well, the only one that's actually going to play.
You have Juwan Johnson, Brevin Jordan, and Trey McBride.
Yeah, so again,
your kicker is Carlson.
Goddard's the only tight end that's actually going to play on my team, so or maybe Juwan Johnson. I don't know. I know Brevin McBride and Brevin Jordan.
Do you have any thoughts on? I guess this is a good question because I like Juwan Johnson too. Does the Saints signing Jimmy Graham scare you at all?
No, I don't think so.
If Jimmy Graham's going to be good, it's only going to be in New Orleans. That's it.
That's true because he hasn't been good since he left New Orleans. That's the thing. Like ever since he left New Orleans, it's like, oh, he's playing with like the 1 year he was in Green Bay. Oh, he's got Aaron Rodgers. He's going to be so good this year. And what he caught like 1 pass.
He was with the Bears, the Seahawks. Hasn't done anything since he left the Saints.
Yeah, but it would be my luck that he signs with the fucking Saints and he goes off and he's just like 12 touchdowns.
And they have Taysom Hill, who's technically like
a tight end.
Yeah.
Fuck Taysom Hill. I hate that guy. I hate him so much.
I know you do. You want to talk about any guys on my team and then we'll wrap it up?
Yeah, I don't know who's on your team, so
okay.
If you want to.
So my quarterbacks, Joe Milton, he's a college guy at Tennessee. Josh Allen, Sam Darnold, Tyler Huntley, Tua. I would like to get one more quarterback somehow, but I don't know how I'm gonna do that.
I don't know how you would afford another quarterback.
No. Running backs, Tank Bigsby, James Cook, AJ Dillon, Gus Edwards, Zach Evans, Kenny McIntosh, Keaton Mitchell, Devin Singletary, Ramondre Stevenson, DeAndre Swift. I would like to trade one. I have too many.
If you want to give him up for very low cost, I would very much like DeAndre Swift.
Yeah.
So Gus Edwards, what team is he even on?
Ravens.
He's not with Baltimore, is he?
Yeah.
Like I feel like he's a guy that's kind of like hit or miss. He's very.
If Dobbins doesn't play,
he might literally have like 3 touchdowns 1 week and then nothing the next.
If Dobbins doesn't play, I would love to sell him.
Like I had him like I wouldn't say it was like my first or second year in the league.
He's good.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Like it was like 1 week he would have 3 touchdowns. The next week he would like get the ball 1 time. Yep. It was that's the one frustrating thing with him is like you never know when he's going to go off.
It'll all depend on Dobbins. If Dobbins isn't there, I love him.
Yeah.
Wide receivers, I have Bateman, Metcalf, Pickens, Ridley, Waddle. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, yes, like 3 very good ones.
Yeah. I'd like to cash in one of these running backs for a quarterback or receiver. I just don't think it's necessary to have 10 running backs.
Yeah.
I have literally 10 running backs. Tight ends, Kelsey, Irv Smith, kicker, Justin Tucker.
Outbid me for Justin Tucker, asshole.
I had him signed.
Did you? I thought no. Well, then you outbid me last year for him. Did
2 years ago.
You have what do you have him for? $2, right?
$3.
Okay, yeah. Because you went 1, I went 2, then you went 3, and I was like, no, I can't do 4.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. Yeah. All right, good place to wrap up.
Yep. Very long show that's going to get cut into very multiple segments.
Yeah, don't even post the whole show. Just tell Ben each segment is
cut the shit out of this. Yeah.
And then a post for each video.
So outro, I guess. Thank you for watching. You could obviously, as you see down at the bottom, subscribe, like, and comment on the YouTube channel. Do at least 2 out of those 3. Preferably subscribe and like. But if you comment and subscribe, that's fine too. You can follow. Don't forget to check out our site, vendettasportsmedia.com. You want to see everything that we got? That's where you're going to find it. You can search by your favorite author. You could search by, what sport you're into, whatever you want to do there. Follow us on Twitter at VendettaVSM for the site. You can follow Trey on Twitter at Trey Daubert, spelled exactly as you can see it on the screen there. You can follow me at Lilfooted, LILFOOTED. Anything else? I think that's it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.